Hello, my name is Angelina and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my December wrap-up. So in the month of December, I managed to read 6 books, which is actually my second lowest reading month of 2022, but that's fine. I had a lot of things going on in December, so I'm not really mad about that. But this accounted for 1,683 pages that I managed to read, and this came to a 3.75 star average rating. So the first book that I read in December was 1 Week to Claim It All by Adriana Herrera. I gave this one 3 stars, and this one follows our main character Esmeralda, who ends up inheriting her father's super big media empire business. And this creates a lot of conflict when her father's a long-time protege, who also happens to be Esmeralda's ex-lover, thought he was going to be the one to be inheriting the business, and everyone at the company also assumed he would be the one inheriting the business. So Esmeralda pretty much just has to prove herself at this job that she deserves to inherit. It's also a second chance romance, and this one is a novella, so if you are looking for a quick read, definitely check this one out. I'm a really big fan of this author's writing style, so of course I ended up enjoying that. My only sort of complaint with this book is the characters. I just wanted a lot more from them. Since this is a second chance romance and it is a novella, a lot of the romance has already been established, and we don't really get to see these two characters really fall in love with each other or anything, which is kind of what I like most about romance books. So this was pretty much just these two characters who already have this past that we don't really explore too much, and then some steamy scenes, which, you know, it's fine, just not really my thing. I kind of wish the actual romance elements were more involved, but if you are looking for sort of a more plot-heavy romance, this is probably a good one to pick up and try, because the whole plot of Esmeralda sort of claiming her place in this business was a big focus of the story. So if you are sort of new to romance, or you just prefer a lot more plot in your romance, this might be a good one to check out. Next, I read The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armes, and I sadly gave this one 1.5 stars. This one just really was not for me, but it follows our main character, Catalina, who needs a date to her sister's wedding, and one of her colleagues, Erin, who she really does not like, ends up sort of offering to be her date to the wedding. So of course this has the hate to love trope where these two characters end up falling in love, but this, it just really wasn't for me. I really did not like either of the characters. I did not like the writing style, and the only reason it wasn't a full 1 star is just because there are a couple jokes in here that did make me laugh, which I am very disappointed to say, considering how much I dislike this book. I'm very sad that I ended up laughing at a couple of jokes made in it, but either way, I did not like it. It also made me hate the hate to love trope, which it's one of my favorites. So how this book even managed to make it such a terrible trope, yeah. But you know, there is so much hype surrounding this book, so I think I also just had really high expectations going into this. I thought it would be a new favorite. I love books that deal with the characters traveling places, and these two characters go to Spain for the wedding. Even how this whole plot surrounds Catalina having to go to this wedding. The wedding wasn't even a big part of this book. We barely get any wedding scenes. We barely get any of her sister. And there's no cool fun things that they do in Spain that we get to see, because most of this book takes place with them still working at their job and stuff and just planning to go on this trip. So yeah, this one really disappointed me. I really did not like it, and I wouldn't really recommend it, but you know, I know there's a ton of hype surrounding this, so I'm glad other people seem to be enjoying it. Next, I read Sweat and Soap Volume 3 by Kanetsu Yamada, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really have been enjoying this series. My library just got Volume 4 in, so I'm super excited to get to that one. But if you didn't see my November wrap-up where I talked about the first 2 volumes of this series is basically about our main character, who is someone who is very self-conscious about her sweat. She sweats a lot and is something that she has to deal with her whole life and everything. And she ends up working at this soap company, and one day she ends up meeting the designer person, the person who makes all these soaps that she really likes at the company. And he ends up becoming obsessed with the way she smells, and it's their relationship. It's very weird. Their whole relationship sort of surrounds him really loving how her sweat smells. So a weird premise, but it really works. It's really adorable, really sweet. I really love the themes that were explored in this volume in particular. I obviously don't want to say anything because of spoilers, but I just really like how everything is handled and how well these characters are communicating and sort of growing in their relationship. It's adorable and I would highly recommend it. Next, I read The Duke Gets Even by Joanna Shupe, and I gave this one 5 stars. This is the second book that I have read by this author, and the other one that I read I ended up really loving as well. So I'm definitely going to have to keep my eye on Joanna Shupe because she might just end up being a new favorite author of mine. But this book in particular follows Nellie, who is this very free-spirited heiress, and the Duke of Lockwood, who is very uptight. So this does have that grumpy sunshine vibe, but they end up having a secret affair, and yeah, things happen because our Duke here, he needs to find a wife who has money but also has a good reputation. And while Nellie has money, she is an heiress, she definitely does not have a very good reputation. She is known for sort of sleeping around, and yeah, this is basically just them two with their secret affair slowly falling in love with each other. I absolutely adored this book. I loved their relationship dynamics. I loved Nellie in particular and how much this book explored her and her friends and her family, and that she had lots of different hobbies and passions. This book also really focuses on contraceptives and sort of the importance of educating women about them, which I really liked, especially since this is a historical fiction novel. I feel like that's something not often seen. I am very new to the historical romance genre, so maybe that's just me not knowing things, but I don't know. Just the historical context around it was just really interesting, and how Nellie just really had this passion for educating women about it. And yeah, I would just really highly recommend this book. It was so much fun. It was a really quick read, and I just absolutely adored these two characters' relationships and seeing them grow. Next, I read Unseelie by Avalise Hausman. I believe that's how you pronounce this author's name. I might be mispronouncing it, and I'm sorry if I am. But this book follows our main character, Seelie, and her twin sister, and one day while they are doing a heist, it ends up going wrong, and they end up going on the run, sort of, with some unexpected allies, and they get dragged into this sort of mystery that is a lot bigger than they expected, and it was just a lot of fun. I gave this book 4 stars. Seelie does have autism, which was very great rep. I believe it is Own Voices rep. The author, I believe, is autistic, but it was just really interesting how it was sort of explored in this fantasy setting. This book does have fae and dragons in it. I loved the magic, and I loved how Seelie was sort of exploring her magic. This was just a lot of fun. I don't want to say anything that would spoil it, but yeah. I did read an advanced reader's copy of this, but it is out by the time you are seeing this video, so If you want to pick up a copy, you can do so. And since this book is following twin sisters, this book has a lot to do with like sibling relationships, which I really enjoyed. I feel like you don't see that a lot in YA and YA fantasy specifically, and I just love how that was explored, how a lot of the like sibling bonds were sort of explored. Like they didn't always get along, but they still always loved each other and stuff. I don't know. I just really love this, and especially the way this book ends. I cannot wait to read the second one. And yeah, I would really recommend you pick it up if it sounds interesting to you. And the last book that I read in the month of December is Rebel Girls, Animal Allies, which I gave 5 stars. And this is, of course, by Rebel Girls. If you are new here, you probably don't know that I am obsessed with Rebel Girls and what they do. They're basically just putting out a whole bunch of books that are nonfiction, just exploring women who did great things, are doing great things. And they're always from all over the world, which I love. And this book specifically follows different women who are animal advocates, who do a lot with animal conservation and stuff, and I just love seeing that. While these books are nonfiction and they are aimed at a younger audience, younger children, I do always end up learning something every time I pick one of their books up, and I just love that. And I love all the different art in it. And it's just always a fun time reading these books. I would just highly recommend this book or any book by Rebel Girls, honestly, especially if you have any younger children in your life. I think this would just be perfect. And those are the 6 books I managed to read in December. I'm sorry this video is coming to you late. Life just got busy, but if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment about whatever you feel like commenting, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!